He got Terry McLaurin and Foster Moreau for a 2024 first Quez Watkins. Who cares about Quez Watkins? This guy just wanted to show me that he bent this man over, spread the cheeks, and clapped him so hard he never wanted to play fantasy again. League of Tomorrow's back for you. Dynasty value of not just one or two players. Today is
Dynasty Trade Show.
And we are less than 10 subscribers away from our 100 subscriber special. So make sure you go down and subscribe, comment, and like, because we are going to have our producer come out from behind the shadows and take a couple back-to-back shots with me and have a celebration. So if you like that, definitely make sure you subscribe. On today's show, we will be discussing dynasty trades. Now, we're not going to tell you the lineup and all that mamba jumbo. We're just giving it in a nutshell. So expect this to be 2 QB in super flex leagues, because that's what you should be doing in dynasty. Now, our first trade today is Jalen Hurts in a 2023 first round pick for Patrick Mahomes. I'm taking that Patrick Mahomes side. I do not care if that 23 first is the 1-1 overall. To get an asset like Patrick Mahomes in a 2 QB super flex league that will give you value for the next 10 years is almost irreplaceable. So to get him on a value like that for Jalen Hurts, who might not have a job in the next year, and a 23 first is just an awesome steal. So if you can, which is unlikely to happen, I would go out and be trying to get a Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen for that kind of price, undoubtedly. Now, it won't always work, but for this guy, it did. So I just wanted to bring it up in case you have that opportunity where someone accepts it. All right, this next trade, let's be honest, this guy just wanted to show me how big he is when he's erect, because he got not only Terry McLaurin, who is a proven fantasy asset and can be a top 12 wide receiver, and that is all Terry McLaurin has ever shown, but he got Foster Moreau on top of it, where not a lot of people value him high, but you have to understand that if Darren Waller leaves,
oh baby, what I do without you?
This guy can be a #1 top 5 tight end. What he has shown when Darren Waller is not healthy is nothing but incredible, and he has been a viable tight end to pick up and play whenever Waller's not healthy. So if Waller leaves this team after this year, if he leaves the Las Vegas Raiders,
Baby, please don't go.
Moreau could be a top 5 fantasy tight end. He got Terry McLaurin and Foster Moreau for a 2024 first Quez Watkins. Who cares about Quez Watkins? This guy just wanted to show me that he bent this man over, spread the cheeks, and clapped him so hard he never wanted to play fantasy again. So our next trade today is a pretty good one. I really like this one. We're getting a little harder into it, and it's not such an easy decision. The trade is Cam Akers, the 103 in 2022, a 23 first, and a 23 second for the one, the only Justin Herbert. In a nutshell, you'd think as a rebuilding team, oh, this is exactly what I should do. I get 2 firsts, a young running back, and a second round pick and get all those shots. But here's the thing. Top QBs are almost irreplaceable. Getting Justin Herbert is the side I want. And the reason why is if you want the Kenneth Walker or the Drake London, they are still unproven assets. On top of a random 23 first and second, and Akers, who is coming off the Achilles, that is an easy trade for me to accept Justin Herbert. Although you are getting the assets to trade him away, I just don't think it's ever a good possibility to trade him unless you're getting the most crazy offer you have seen. So this next trade is a really interesting one. I'm going to have to break it down in parts because it's not just what he got. He actually drafted people and then made more trades. So on the surface, you have Christian McCaffrey, Rondale Moore, and a 2023 second round pick for a 3rd round pick in 2022, the 103, and the 106. Now, on surface, it does look okay for a rebuilding team, but what he does with these picks is what I want to discuss. At the 103, took Isaiah Spiller. And then at the 106 that he traded up from a 109, he went and got Garrett Wilson. So as you can see, giving Isaiah Spiller and Garrett Wilson for Christian McCaffrey, Rondale Moore, it's just a horrible trade. Now, if you would have taken a guy like Drake London or Kenneth Walker or even Treylon Burks, it would have been a more fair trade. I just want to point out what he did wrong in this by not getting the worst trade, although I wouldn't really want to trade, in a nutshell, Christian McCaffrey and Rondale Moore for that. I feel like you could get more. I'd rather aim, instead of the 109, to get a 23 first round pick and build from there, because we know that class is so deep and so freaking talented. He made many mistakes, but he had the right idea. But bottom line, it was terrible. So I really like this next trade we're about to present because it is getting the veterans off of the rookie hype, because people are so hyped about these rookies coming in and want those draft picks. So you can get a stud veteran who is a proven asset for a little cheaper than most parts of the year. So the trade is Najee Harris, Pat Freiermuth, and the 102 for Javonte Williams, Ceedee Lamb, and Noah Fant. Now, you always want the best player in the deal, and some people would say it's Najee Harris. Some people would say it's Javonte Williams, because how good Javonte Williams was with the touches he got compared to how many touches Najee Harris has got last year and how many receptions. You can literally go back and forth. For me, in my rankings, they're like Dynasty running back 3 and 4, but I could flip them either day. They are on that same tier, and they are just as close in Dynasty value, so you can take them out of that deal. When you take them out of the deal, you have Pat Freiermuth in the 102 for Ceedee Lamb and Noah Fant. Give me the Ceedee Lamb side all day. Ceedee Lamb is worth more than the 102 and Noah Fant or Pat Freiermuth alone. He is a proven asset, and he could be the #1 wide receiver this year. I understand he's never been a top 12 wide receiver in his 2 years played, but even Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans were not a top 12 wide receiver in their rookie year. Give me the Ceedee Lamb side, and it's not even close. So our last trade of the day is kind of a amusing one, but it really brings a good point on how you should play fantasy. It's Scotty Miller and Ty Johnson for a 23 third round pick. Now, it seems like nothing at the base of it, but what you need to understand, if you're able to get a third round pick out of people who in 1 year will become irrelevant, most likely, this is how you rebuild and get shots. So if you can get a player like Scotty Miller, Ty Johnson, and package them up for a third round pick, it's actually a really smart move to do in order to get those shots in the third round. Now, people don't think third round is too relevant, but for rebuilding teams especially, you need to understand Deontay Johnson at one point was a third round pick. Terry McLaurin was a third round pick. Antonio Gibson was the end of the second, beginning of the third round pick. So if you're able to take almost irrelevant fantasy players and get a third round pick off of them, that is a great move to make, and I really like that deal.